It's a good thing you brought your camera.
I'm not planning on taking pictures of you or them, but I don't leave my camera in the dressing room. That's it. I don't. I'm always scared, so I bring it on stage with me, even if I don't use it.
Is that an old Jewish man thing? Like, you know,
sure.
you like bring stuff out
look,
wherever?
I'm on my way to old Jewish man. I'm 63. Not too long until I'm a part-time old Jewish man.
Right.
And moments of old Jewish man, and I'm proud of those moments. I am proud to be an old Jew.
I mean, oh man, I think that's a good way to be like, yeah. It's nice to celebrate old Jewish men.
Jeff is kind of laying down the law backstage.
Yeah.
About
what?
Fawning.
Don't do that. That's a private moment.
Just don't like fawning.
Why would you do that?
Well, no, that's a thing. It could be in the book.
No, stop with your fawning. There was a journalist who fawned over a pair of mine, and there was no interview. It was just fawn, 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 fawn. That's what I was talking about. But I will not say names.
But fawning, yeah, it's like we're not going to fawn because we have
I've
so much
fawned.
to do here.
I've never found a moment in life to fawn. I don't fawn.
You've never fawned?
No.
No fawning.
I don't loiter. I don't loiter.
You don't loiter or fawn.
And I've never been dispersed. It's true.
So those are like the trifecta. No dispersion, no fawning.
There's many more.
More, okay. Yeah. Well, that's, I think, a little bit of what you tried to aggregate all of those more things in like this old Jewish man's guide to eating, sleeping, and futsing around. It's a complete handbook. I want you to know, folks, it's a complete handbook on all of those issues. Advanced deli strategies, golf, schwitz, repeat, the art of baldness.
Has anyone here read it? Okay.
You got a woo.
Yeah, I know.
I've never wooed. When I go see concerts,
no fawning and no wooing.
No, I'm not even kidding. When I hear people woo, it's like, what are you doing? We're applauding, or they yell, "We love you." He knows it. You bought an expensive ticket. Shut up, everyone. Woo, woo. I'd like to take my iPhone outside and have a friend hold up a sign. If you wooed, come on over. And then I would ask the person why they wooed. I don't get the wooing. Fawning, wooing, yeah.
It's not there.
Yeah.
So no, talk to us a little bit about what shaped your fascination with old Jewish men. Were you exposed to a lot of old Jewish men? Like, what was the need for you to give a guide?
I was loitering at a at a Walgreens. I think what happened was that I grew up in a pretty non-Jewish area. My brother and I were kind of siloed in this, kind of waspy neighborhood, and my parents used to take us to an Orthodox service for the high holidays, and I kind of remember. I don't know if this is why I became kind of like into old Jewish men exactly, but this is kind of my stock answer that I always give.
Into old Jewish men. That not the right connotation.
Yeah,
my fascination, and I've been fascinated before.
Me too.
Yeah,
but no
fascination.
Fawning. But you're not into Jewish men. You're fascinated by old
But you could also have said, I'm really turned on. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're going to let you speak. No, go ahead.
And anyway, I think what I kind of remember was my brother and I kind of nudging each other at like break fast, kind of watching the old Jewish men there, like stuffing things in their pockets, taking, like leaning over each other for the last piece of herring, like that kind of thing. We were kind of like, who are these guys? Not really realizing this was our future, hopefully.
That is so similar to my story. I would go Saturday morning to temple, and after the service, they would have lox, bagels, many different herrings. And it was, and I was fascinated. Also, I'm from Chicago, but I spent my years from 20 to 22 in South Florida. I witnessed many pocket moves. Many pocket moves. No, I mean, my grandma, well, the number one was, what was the sugar thing, replacement?
Splenda.
No, Sweet and Low.
Sweet and Low.
Sweet and Low, #1 on the list. If you owned a deli, you better have a back room full of Sweet and Low because it is being taken. And I love
That's
all
the #1 move. Okay.
Yeah. But the other things, bread, oh my God, so many breads. Bread, I don't remember lox, but I remember breads, Sweet and Lows, and also desserts if there's no frosting.
Like babka or like
Babka.
Babka.
You got it.
Babka.
Babka.
You even had a line in here about like someone doesn't show up unless they have 2 chocolate babkas in their back pocket or something.
Did you say a lie?
Yeah. No, you said that was in there. Like there was like it was one of the archetypes of the schnorrer or something.
Oh yeah.
Snore.
If it's free, take 2 kind of thing.
Snore.
Yeah.
So you're in your Orthodox, like this, like you're fascinated by old Jewish men, and there are plenty in this country called Orthodox synagogues. It's all they're populated by old Jewish men, right? And so fascinating you and
I don't know. I mean, looking back when I'm asked the question, I think, maybe it was that, But
is it just Jewish men? Like, let's just is the old Jewish man archetype?
Yeah.
You have a lot of archetypes. By the way, I'm not using fancy. You use the archetype types.
Yeah.
Right. There are 10 types of Jewish men.
There's only 10.
Only 10.
Yeah.
And some of them, just to give you like those, I know you've all read it, liars. And you read it. So here we
No, read them all. You can do it quickly.
The schnorrer. Okay. I mean,
No,
I want to see if I'm one of.
That's within the shul archetype.
Curiosity.
Within the
Plenty of
shul.
curiosity. Go
Right.
ahead.
So the grumpy intellectuals. Okay.
That could be me on that one.
yeah.
Because I am grumpy, and I hope that I'm intelligent. I'm not intellectual. I'm intelligent. So no, that's not.
You have the king of the temple, right? And you have in chapter 2, and you go through, unbelievable.
King of the temple.
The big shot.
Who doesn't know the temple president? Yeah.
The big shot, the undercover macher, right? The undercover macher was a good one.
That is a great term. When did you come up with that?
The beloved old timer. Tell us a little bit about the undercover macher.
That sounds like a great mystery book.
I think the
The undercover macher.
I think the undercover macher, according to the book, is like the guy who, has like he doesn't want you to know that he's, the anonymous donator, but he's wearing the vest, and he's got a Bloomberg haircut.
Oh, okay.
That kind of guy?
Yeah, undercover macher.
You said something to me about the schnorr. You like that term.
No, well, schnorr, I don't like schnorrs. I don't, and I've met too many. And by the way, schnorrs aren't always Jewish. There's a lot of schnorrs, period. Fuck schnorrs. I'm sorry for the swearing. That's how strong
It's okay. It's very powerful.
Aaron Cohen, if you're here, I'm sorry.
I'm in a weird spot in my life where every rabbi seems so much younger than me. Yeah.
I feel the same way.
You're in your 40s?
Really,
Are you in your 40s?
I'm not saying right now.
Okay.
I'm saying tough. The #3 is tough guys, AKA the muscle. That's a type. That's an old Jewish man type.
That's an archetype, yeah.
Yeah, it's an archetype. They have the pinky ring.
Yeah.
The hair slicked back with an incredible amount of Brill cream.
Yeah.
A lot of arm hair.
Yeah.
A gold Rolex.
Yeah.
A fashion belt with an expensive logo buckle hidden by the shirt. A double pleated full cut nice break pants with Prada or Gucci loafers, square toe.
Your observational skills are amazing. That's a home run.
That might have been the cartoonist too. I don't know if I can take full. He's the fashion guy. So.
Yeah, well, the cartoonist did a good job, but then you came up with another one. You have the Old Jewish Man Deli Association and more. The deli is more than a joint you go to get a decent meal. It's a sanctuary, a vigor-restoring oasis for old Jewish men to sit for hours and be pampered with complimentary pickles, coleslaw, bottomless coffee, and all the sliced-up nitrates fit for a king. Your wife thinks you eat a dangerous amount of chopped liver and wants you to give it up. All the more reason to go. Remember, old Jewish men don't cheat on their spouses. With younger women, they cheat with Barney Greenberg.
Yes.
If I may, I found which old Jew I am. Right there, that's who I am and will always be. And nitrates, I have allergies to nitrates. But I'm all in on the nitrates.
When I talked to the owner of Barney Greengrass for the book, he said that he'd see groups of old Jewish men kind of come into Barney Greengrass for breakfast with their blood work.
That is amazing. Oh, is that delightful. Wow. I wish I could have been at that table. I want to hear. That's great stuff. I have never publicly brought out my blood work, but I'm going to do it in the deli if I do. I love this.
Speaking of deli, so we have this little piece here, Nadler's Corner, noshing in Congress, apropos of last week. There are everyday Americans who can't afford a bagel, let alone lox, let alone a side of white fish to take home to their families. Bernie Sanders, most likely. When Congress won't provide a good spread, you got to bring your own. Schlepping a jumbo bag of smelly fish and other oily deli food from the Upper West Side is what old Jewish men call real politicking. Where do you come up with this stuff? This stuff is like each page is brilliant.
ChatGPT's getting a lot better.
It's brilliant. Brilliant.
But that's the thing, by the way, of ChatGPT, and this is a perfect example. ChatGPT cannot write a book like that.
No
Can't.
way.
I agree.
My comedy? No. There are things that are so... ChatGPT knows shit about delis, and he doesn't know the taste of a delicious pastrami sandwich at Langer's in downtown Los Angeles.
Unbelievable.
I will hit there tomorrow. I'm flying home. Saturday, Langer's. I've done it to myself.
Well, Langer's is prominently featured in that section. So which of those archetypes were like the most hit home? Like where did they come up with the archetypes?
Where did I come up with it?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess some of them are obvious. You know, you have the...
But your detail, your attention to detail,
New York
is
schlub.
fascinating, and really, you should be congratulated. That detail.
So
and by the way, any of those old Jews, I'd want to meet in the deli. Any of them. Because that would be so interesting.
Or the Schwitz.
The pinky
Or the
ring and
Schwitz.
the gold Rolex. I will sit across from you anytime, sir. I want to hear what you have to say.
All that detail, I don't know if I've enough for a second book.
Yeah.
What are the other cathedrals? You're talking about the deli, the synagogue, the Schwitz. We talked about the Schwitz as a cathedral for the old Jewish man. It's like a sacred pilgrimage.
But we can get back to your first question about the
please.
archetypes. And I guess I would give this question to Jeff. What do you think I missed?
Nothing.
Or
No, nothing.
because I can tell you when I was kind of...
The narcissistic Jew, you know, cold and distant, doesn't want to go to a deli because it's about, he needs it to be about him. No, you missed nothing. No, I really, you didn't. I'm being, because you've already learned that I'm very specific, you know, about things, and you really did. And specificity is so wonderful. I get excited with it, and you hit it, pal.
Well,
Nice.
thank you.
Yeah, let's get some
Well, we're done
applause
here. Thanks,
I mean,
guys. All right, let's get the...
We're done. I think, Jeff, can you give him the time? Just give a quick update for the where are we?
Well, don't tell me what you
7:50.
did.
Okay, I'll tell you. 7:52. I'm just testing to see if you'll fawn, that's all. Okay, so...
Why? Well, hold on, let's take a step back.
No fawning.
Saying the time includes fawning, oh, clock, you are fantastic. What the hell are you talking about?
I don't even know.
You want me to fawn over you as you speak the time? There's no fawning involved.
No fawning in general. So question for you, Noah, and then also to you, Jeff. Who's the audience for this kind of Jewish humor? I know that I'm getting a kick out of it. All of those are here. Are those who don't know old Jewish men or haven't experienced it, this is a book that appeals to them? I don't know. Is Jewish humor bigger than...
I mean, they're not inviting me to speak at, the local church, you know.
But plenty of
it.
non-Jews went to go see Jackie Mason, and he was uniquely Jewish. So obviously the number one group is Jews.
Right.
And Jews would like this. And young Jews always know old Jews. And maybe an old Jew will buy it for a young Jew. And then the young Jew can fawn on the old Jew.
As long as they're fawning over me.
Yeah, does that make sense?
No, but
does that work?
Forget the fawning, it wasn't funny. But the point is that, yeah, Jews, I can see a grandfather going, here, learn about me. I'm not kidding. I think that there's a big audience, and also I think
like a bar mitzvah gift? Like a bar mitzvah gift?
Oh, that'd be a great bar mitzvah gift,
it's
but very cheap. You'd have to put 100 in the front easy, but that's not appropriate. But hey, here's a thing for your future. It's a bond, whatever. Oh, and also
There's a Bible, and here's this. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
I like
First night of Hanukkah gift.
a little Hanukkah gift.
yeah.
Was I gonna say?
Yeah, it makes a great Hanukkah gift.
I think so too.
Yeah, that's right.
Babies love this book. People tell me that their babies won't stop looking at it. I think that babies like old faces.
By the way, I think babies like everything, but maybe old faces. You know what I was going to say is I want this book to get to a point where at Hanukkah, you're looking at the different gifts. I've got it for you. And you hand the book wrapped. Did you get me old Jewish men again? Did you? Come on, Dad. Yeah, that's what I'm wishing for you.
Me too.
And I think this will become a very successful book in the Jewish community. I mean, like to where it lasts for years.
Yeah.
Like the Yiddish ones that are funny, all that stuff.
So you mentioned Jackie Mason, Jeff.
Yes.
So was he like I remember on my 17th or 18th birthday, when The World According to Me, I went for my girlfriend at the time took me and my twin brother, we went to see that, and I was I could not stop laughing. I was like, crying from the bit with the booze and the Jews, drink, want to drink, all this. Was Jackie Mason, was that influential in any way? Like, in what way?
Well,
one of the greats for you?
He was influential, and I remember in Chicago, I had a hit one-man show at the same time he was doing his one-man show. I played in a smaller theater. He played like one of the downtown theaters, very big. And I went backstage, and he asked me how my show is going. I said, really good. I go, I'm really sick. I'm starting to improvise because I'm really sick of the words. And he looked at me and went, what are you, a schmuck? Only a schmuck. You got reviewed with those words. You do the words. You're a schmuck. I got that from him, and I loved it. And he was actually right in that sort of way. But I listened to his stuff constantly. And he was a truly late bloomer. I think one of his early albums said, I'm the funniest comedian in the world and no one knows it. That was like one of his albums. But he was uniquely Jewish. He's also AI. You think AI can create Jackie Mason? All the greats. Richard Lewis, you think he's coming out of AI? No. So if something's really original, AI cannot. They can do a facsimile, but enjoy.
I had dinner with Jackie Mason once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had dinner with him.
At a deli? Or where would you
it was on the Upper West Side on 81st Street and Columbus. It was maybe 8 years ago or something. And so I sat down, and he was with his wife, and he was sitting there, and he had he had a big punch, and he had this huge tower of sweet potato fries. And I go, hi, Jackie, I'm Noah. He goes, how you doing? I said, what do you do? I said, I'm a writer. He goes, oh, you're unemployed. And then I told my mom, I said, I had dinner with Jackie Mason. Everyone I said that to, they said, oh, I thought he was dead.
But if I may, he wasn't exactly bouncy and friendly.
No.
I thought he was sharp.
What are you bothering me for? I'm schwitzing. I'm naked. Get away.
Yeah.
They come. They drive Mercedes.
Yeah.
They sit next to me. No, he was. By the way, best performance I've ever seen by a comedian. And I tell this to people. They go, really? Alan King. I saw him. He was a master.
Alan King.
Yeah, Alan King. So I study all this. I care about what went on before me.
Nice.
I really do. And so I've stopped doing that. I don't pay attention anymore, because if I study it, I'm actually studying me, my era, because we're anyhow, or my peers who I know very well and friends with a lot of them. But Alan King, wow. He was, I know it was completely written, it was an act, but he was so specific with everything he said and his rhythms, and I was in tears, and I wasn't expecting that. As a matter of fact, I went to see him out of curiosity, because, and anyhow, lo and behold, the best show I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I just have, going back to Jackie Mason, I actually also had a number of exchanges with Jackie Mason because I actually worked as one of the waiters at Ben's Kosher Deli when they just opened up on 38th Street and 7th.
Wow.
When it like took over from Luigi Siegel's, and I was the first part of the first wait staff. And Jackie would come in every day from lunch in the schmata area down there and order like an extra lean corned beef sandwich, and was very obnoxious about every little thing and annoyed and didn't like being noticed but he was a character, right? So let's talk about Jewish humor in this kind of. So I can't help but read this book and laugh hysterically and also wonder why we do this to ourselves. Meaning, like the humor is so self-deprecating. It's so beautifully self-deprecating. Like we're laughing at ourselves. We're laughing at Jewish men, the archetype, whatever it is. But like, what do you like? Where does it come from? Is it a healthy thing to be so self-flagellation in public and like thinking of Jewish men in this way?
I don't know that it's that specific. I know that if I'm talking about somebody and I'm having a strong opinion, they have to be a worthy target. In other words, they have to really be a target that other people feel. But I'm not political. But I have to say, in my show, in my films, TV, whatever it is, I'm low status. And most comedians, Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton, all the way through, Laurel and Hardy, low status. You'd have to be Bill Murray, Eddie Murphy too, low status. And the minute they went and tried high status, not successful. Low status. It's the funny thing in comedian, and it's very Jewish to think, I don't want to, and low status, and it would have to be a specific character if someone was playing or talking about something that they were higher status, But it's low status. And I think it all comes from the Jews. Mm-hmm. Not that Jews are low status, but the feeling of, Larry David does that.
No, what do you think?
Can you explain what you mean by high status, low status?
Sure. So I'll use Trading Places as an example, but many of them, but you've seen Trading Places. Okay. So Eddie Murphy was a street person, low status. Eddie Murphy had nothing to his name, low status. Eddie Murphy got pulled into a bet by two high status characters. So he's low status, but he's gonna win and stay low status. You have to add humble to low status. I'm saying low status means that you're the guy who, I don't want to make fun of somebody in the audience where I look better. That's just wrong. High status means somebody is very successful. They have everything going for them. The rich are generally high status and believe the hype, But most Jewish comedians that I know, all low status. You have to be the one that they come down on, not you.
Got it.
And then if there's anyone lower status than you don't mess with them because you're low status. It's delightful.
Is that helpful? No, is it?
Yeah.
I can explain it more, but
no, I get it.
There's a thing called boring.
What do you
I don't want
think?
to be boring.
Yeah, sure. I like the I don't know, the joke in there is something about like the schnorr or like going to the bathroom when the check comes or something like that.
Oh,
like a low
we
status.
did that on Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's a natural Jewish one. That's a guy who's putting bread in his pocket, and I'm going to the bathroom, and there's no winning, because if you wait, you look like you're, nickel and diming them. So you just do it, and then but as they do it over and over, first off, if the person's my actual friend and they do this, I'll say, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
But strangers or people you don't know well, they do it all the time, that bathroom jump. So we did it, and Larry called it out at the table, and it was beautiful. Yeah, so that's definitely.
Trading Places had a moment where he's schnoring, right? Like he's wearing a Santa Claus outfit or something, right? And he starts putting a huge, sable or
Dan
something.
Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd.
Well, Dan Aykroyd in that movie.
He's a low status.
No, but he starts high status.
Right, starts high status.
And he goes right to low status.
Right, and then he starts snoring.
became tight with Eddie Murphy. That's low status, high status.
Nice.
And the main guys who made the bet.
But Larry's high status in Curb.
No, he's not. You crazy?
But I mean, if you think, for example, like George Costanza is low status.
And Larry David is low
I know,
status.
but he's playing himself, and he's like a high status character, though.
No, he's low status. Everything happens to him that causes humor in the show.
I know, but if you think about it, he's in some ways he's punching down a little bit because he's like.
Nope, I disagree.
Anyone else? No? Okay. Yeah.
You agree? Okay. Have at it.
A divided room.
But if Larry David was here, he'd tell you low status. You can be loaded and be low status, because if you're loaded and you're not respected, and his character no one respects him.
But he's dealing with the fact. No, but he's at odds with the fact that he's a low status person in a high status position, and he's like, remember when he's piling money on the table at the restaurant? How much do I give? How much do I give? How much do I give? Remember that? That's like him.
Well, in that moment, what is he? He's throwing money down, and what is he?
He's low status, high status.
No. Because a low status, I love this conversation. A low status person can be loaded. Doesn't matter. Low status, there's no financial. If you're not rich per se in the world of comedy, you're more pictured low status. Everyone knows how rich Larry David is from Seinfeld, But you think he wakes up every day? He'll lay in a whatchamacallit in his backyard. What's the thing? A hammock in his backyard. You think that he doesn't have the same anxieties that we do? Because we talk about it. He's got all the same things, all the same fears. It's not that he lays there and goes, I am so damn rich.
But I think that's some of what he's dealing with in the show. I think that's some of what is the...
it comes after him, but when they come after him, he's low status, period. You find a moment in Curb Your Enthusiasm where Larry David acts high status, let me know. Hey, I'm one of the producers of the show. You should give up the argument. I know what the show's about. What are you doing? Stop. You're fawning.
All right.
So a couple more gems. Old Jew and the Sea.
I've only seen one season.
No, you've seen all of it. Yeah, you've seen it. When people say that, I go, which one? I'm curious. Yeah.
Anything? Anything else?
Is Dave here?
Where's Dave?
Dave.
All right.
Dave is my hero.
He was asking if you were here.
Dave.
All right.
Dave. I don't know if you go to the Old Jewish Men page and Instagram, which brings me more joy than I could possibly imagine.
Yeah.
What's that?
Was it you that put up the bail yesterday? Get me released, I'm here.
That's low status.
That's low status.
No, that's old man Jewish humor.
Yeah.
That's what he was.
Man.
And by the way,
those who are
he's
watching
an
at
old
home,
Jew, so he can't help but to do old man Jewish humor. You think when I would go visit my grandparents in their condo in Hallandale, you think all the old Jews there didn't say the worst jokes to me? I mean, not one of them funny at all. That's an old Jewish thing. Although I think old Jews are adorable. That's my opinion. I think you're at your best when you're an old Jew. I'm so pro-old Jew, and Dave is my hero. And Dave, I don't like the prices at Costco either. He goes places and he just says, this chicken, it's $4. Can you believe $4? It should be $2.99. I know that. They know that. Go to Instagram, old Jewish men, right? A gift. And it calms me and makes me feel all is good in the world. It's a thing of beauty.
So let me ask you a question. Noah. So the book is basically a valorizing of futsing and puttsing as a kind of core lifestyle. To be like futsing and puttsing is like not just the quality of old Jewish men, but like you want to elevate it.
There's nothing to be elevated.
Nothing to be elevated.
No.
Futsing and
No, I
puttsing.
don't know.
But you're like, it's a good, to be a futzer and a putzer is a good thing. Is it only old Jewish men that futz and putts? Or is it like a character of Jewish men in general? Did you ever futz and putz before you became an...
I did it right before I walked out here. I was futzing and putzing. No, yeah, but sure.
It's just what we do.
No, it's a natural Jewish thing, but...
Old Jewish men have it in spades.
The only old Jewish men that I don't care for are the one that wear the matching sweatsuits. Because you're basically saying to the world, I give up.
Right.
I'm done.
I'm done.
I got no interest in
on the way
stories.
out.
I'm over, and that's the sweatsuit. They can wear shorts, a T-shirt. I don't care what they wear. Just don't wear the matching, which some do.
Don't
And
go to
it's sad.
Florida.
And that's sad. It doesn't make it in, but like that's going to be in the next book.
Oh, no, that's...
Is that the
Well,
one
I
of the
think-
archetypes?
Well, it says that that's a post-Schwitz...
The post-Schwitz,
There's
right.
It's the post-Schwitz outfit.
All right, let's talk about the old the Jew in the sea also, because I was going to read this. You write in here,
That is awesome.
old Jew in the sea. If you think the beach is the best place to relax, you're cooking the wrong side of the tuna, big fella. Hey, rookie, go to the pool. Swimming pools don't come with the millions of granules of sand you'll have to spend the next 10 years picking out of your tuchus. Sand is the enemy. It'll get in your bed, your shoes, on the floor next to the toilet, and in your food. That extra crunch isn't supposed to be there, Chief. Then you write, dentists are all criminals. Dentists make a living on sand. If you ever bother listening to your dentist when they're yammering on while you've got a mouthful of metal, you'll notice how happy they are that you just got back from a beach vacation. Well, the jig is up. Dentists are what old Jewish men call beach pumpers. They want all their clients to hit the beaches just so they can get sand in their food and ruin their teeth. It's all a racket, and you're on to them.
So
All right.
stupid. I can't
Is
believe
That is, as far as I'm concerned, the first part, I agree with. Swimming pools, so much more delightful.
Than the beach.
I only go on the beach because my girlfriend likes going on the beach.
But you hate
got to
it.
go along with it. You can't be an asshole. So I go on the beach. I hate the beach.
The sand.
The sand. Well,
Dave
no,
lives at the beach and
I love looking at
Yeah.
the beach. Like I love nature in 4K. She loves nature, and she'll go
3D.
Like she'll go to like the mountains to ski, or in the summer go by the streams and walk around. And I stay home and I'll watch Planet Earth, 4K.
4K.
And have air conditioning rolling on, and I might shuffle off to sleep. Yeah.
A little schluff.
Schluff.
A little schluff.
A little schluffing.
A little
Little
schluffing.
schluffing now and then is relished by the wisest men. Schluffing. Yeah, that I don't need to be at the... and it will get in my... Do you know... Oh, fuck it, I'll go on and on.
Go. No, go. One more. Go a little bit more.
No, I'm done.
Okay. You sure?
I wouldn't say now I'm done if I wasn't sure.
I don't
Why
thought
are
we could push you a little
pushing
bit. I don't know.
things? 8:12.
So, what's your favorite part of the book? Just like, what's your favorite? I want to know what's your favorite part of the book. No, what did you love the most writing this book? What was like the one piece you're like, this is the thing that I love, I'm proudest of. I want to shep nachas for myself. What do you like the most?
I would say I'm proudest of it, but I was happy that my editor allowed me to put one short story in the book. I think I wrote 4 or 5 short stories that did not make it in the book, that just weren't right or not good enough. And finally, he said, okay, this one's like, we could, I guess, put this in.
Right.
He really wasn't happy about it.
Yeah.
And,
He put up with it. He was willing.
I've never been published as a fiction writer. I've submitted a lot, and this was, it was important to me. But I don't necessarily think it's the funniest part of the book. But I think that it's an important part of the book because it shows kind of depth of character. It shows kind of the power of schmooziness in the schmoozing chapter. It shows a certain kind of love of doctors and surgery that I think is important in the world of old Jewish men. That, you know, I have an in-law who, he wouldn't mind me saying this, but he will do anything to avoid changing his lifestyle. He'll have any
to
amount
avoid
of
changing his lifestyle, you said?
Yeah, he'll have any amount of surgeries, do any kind of dialysis, anything.
Just not to change his lifestyle.
Don't change the lifestyle. Yeah. He wants to be able to stop at Ryan's Deli, between Boston and New York, and if you can't do that,
Life's not worth
fuck it.
living. Yeah.
I agree with
Yeah.
you.
You also though
Give
not
me
only
the
did
cent.
Yeah.
not only did you include a short story.
Just being quiet. I'm so loud and
Yeah.
good.
Just want to ask one more. No, like but you also have a lot of other pieces in here from other writers and other people you reached out to. Like, what was the pitch to them? Hey, there's a piece in here from.
They pitched me. I didn't pitch anybody.
Oh, they
no,
pitched
no,
you.
no. No, I'm just kidding. I just sent a lot.
Like, I'm writing a book about nice old Jewish men. Like, there's a piece in here from Susie Weiss. We're talking about Susie, writes for the Free Press. She's so funny. She writes a whole piece about.
Susie here?
Huh?
Oh, she's here. All right.
Susie. Susie, I love your piece. It's hilarious. Can I read a little piece from it?
Well,
Yeah.
She's an expert on
what she writes
spite.
about.
Or no, it's on being petty.
Petty. Oh, no, not spite.
Not
It's
spite.
the opposite. No, petty. Being petty, right? So you write about like owning your inner pettiness, and it's to be distinguished from being cynical or any of the other, other virtues of being an old Jewish man. But pettiness is like keeping a running tab on how many rolls of toilet paper your partner has been used so far, or getting out, as you wrote, like getting out of walking the dog.
How great would it be if all he did for the next 5 minutes was flip through the book? Because he's already gone through. Can I say one thing about the book? Just quickly and then.
Never mind, Susie, I'm not reading it. Jeff's talking. Jeff, you go ahead.
Couldn't find it.
I can't find it.
You got to find it to read it.
I know.
Unless you want to do a monologue that paraphrases. The baseball stuff is my favorite, but there's a thing about mustard and hot dogs, how you can't. In Chicago, my friend, I took him to a Bears game. I have season tickets even though I live in LA. Took him to a Bears game with his daughter, and when she bought the hot dog, I bought it first, she goes, "Do you have any ketchup?" Well, the people sitting there heard it, and they were like, "Get out of here." And then I spread the word because it was funny. She wants ketchup! Because all you can get in Chicago, any hot dog stand, Wrigley Field, whatever they call Comiskey Park, they got plenty of mustard. So if you're a mustard hot dog guy, gotta head over there.
Isn't there an Abbott and Costello bit about the mustard or something, putting like mustard workers? It doesn't matter. Go ahead, yeah.
But when I asked an old Jew, I asked him for the book, I said, "How do you have your hot dog?" And he goes, "Mustard, one line."
Hold on, it's mustard one line. It is, that's the proper amount. Mustard one line. If you're at the ballpark, they give you a packet, mustard one line. Yep.
Nice. Nothing worthy.
Mustard one line, come on.
Before I forget, can I just shout out Dick Carroll, the cartoonist for the book?
Yeah.
Yeah, great job, Dick. I don't know if you're here. I think you are.
I think. Do we have questions, by the way? Any questions in the audience? Or there, Anyway, you'll let me know. Thanks for finding this. No, Susie, Noah really wanted me to read a little bit of just no paraphrase. So this is Susie writing about embrace your inner petty king. Objecting to splitting the bill equally when you didn't have anything to drink. Keeping a tally of the number of toilet paper rolls the love of your life has gone through this month, 4.5 as of Thursday. Quibbling over whose turn it is to take the dog for a walk even though you didn't do it last time, or 2 times ago, it was raining. Is there any better use of time than keeping a lifelong tab of every day-to-day grievance? Surely. But while some may call it a waste, fixating on each and every wrong is more than the principle. It's an art. Thank you, Susie Weiss. Very funny. Thanks.
You're getting a note explaining things to you? She's Jewish, the blonde.
It is like, very much.
I checked. I say, "Are you Jewish?" Yeah. Who knew?
All right, these are some good,
And by the way, my girlfriend, dirty blonde, Jew. My ex-wife, lovely, adorable, blonde, Jew. So I'm somewhere in that world. Always. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is actually covered a little bit in the book. Yankees versus which team is the old Jewish man's team. So do you consider Steve Cohen, the owner of the Mets, an old Jewish man? Yes or no? Maybe too high status, maybe. Who knows?
From what I know about him, I guess I'm of two minds. One, I'm pissed off that someone at the Mets organization wanted to sell our meats stuff, and then they backed out. So if there's anyone here from the Mets, we can rectify that. But I think that there's no more old Jewish men move than to be a losing team and then spend every dollar you have to win and then not win.
So that is an old Jewish man.
Yeah.
All right, Steve Cohen, old Jewish man. I like it. What was your bar mitzvah theme? Maybe this is for the both of you. What was your bar mitzvah theme?
Gambling.
Huh?
Gambling.
Gambling.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Mine, I actually, my mother made these little old-timey football mugs in the middle of each table, and the theme was, call me mister. Because when you're a kid, Master Jeff Garlin, call me mister. And then all I remember from my bar mitzvah, all I remember is being pulled in one direction to have my photo taken. My friends had a great time. I have a lot of pictures where I know I'm in the inside, I'm very upset. And I'm putting up a big fake smile, all for my mom. That's my bar mitzvah, which was a waste except for the great cake. It was great cake.
What kind of cake was it?
My favorite cake is a yellow cake with chocolate frosting.
Nice.
I'm not a chocolate. I'm not a white frosting chocolate.
Got it. Not a babka either. Okay.
You say not babka?
Are you a babka?
Well, of course.
Of course.
What
Old
are you
Jewish.
doing to
I
me?
got it. Okay.
I like a good noodle kugel too. And that one,
A luction.
no, but what's great about a noodle kugel is it's not dessert. Me likey.
Okay. What's your favorite part of being Jewish? Jeff, start with you. What is your favorite part of being Jewish?
Having a great soul. There you go.
Oh, you're talking
I'm
my
carrying
language.
on the tradition of being soulful, that we Jews are soulful. That's what I feel. That's what I like best about being a Jew.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Noah?
If I wasn't Jewish, I wouldn't be able to feel the 2 and 4 beat. It's only Jews and blacks that can feel that.
That's also kind of soulful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Like disco soulful.
yeah.
Can you do that? Can you do like the 2? What is?
It's pretty simple.
Yeah, 2/4.
Are
Yeah.
you Jewish?
Yeah. I got
No,
it. Okay.
That's the one.
2 and 4 beat.
822.
Here we go. 2 and 4 beats. 822. Okay. All right. Now to you, to our old Jewish man on the panel, what's the best advice you've been given, Jeff? Best advice that you've been given.
There are so many that I'm at a loss here. My mentor, everyone, I mean, I love Jewish men and Jewish actors, and people have said things to me. Well, here's one, and it's considered the best advice is from my father. He said, "Don't believe the hype." Yeah, I don't think I'm shit. I mean, I know I'm successful, but I'm not like, I'm not enjoying it. That proves I'm a Jew! I gave advice to my kids, which I don't know how I thought of it, but I will pass it on to other Jews, and that is take what you do seriously, don't take yourself seriously. I would say that to my boys all the time. That was me being an old Jew for advice.
Nice.
I added that. That was an ego move. That was a move where I talked about myself, and I don't like it. Go ahead.
I love it. Noah. Soulful beats. 2/4.
Hey, Noah.
The best advice
Noah,
you've been
before you
given.
answer, I want to tell you something.
Yeah.
Take what you do seriously, but don't take yourself seriously. All right?
Is that the best advice you've
Throwing
ever
it
given?
into you. It's a life to
Thanks,
live.
Dad.
You're welcome.
Best advice, if you're feeling dizzy, leave the sauna.
This is why the book is great. This is why the book is great. That is amazing advice that sometimes I didn't adhere to. And I'm diabetic. It was no good. I sound like Jackie Mason. But that is brilliant. That is brilliant.
Mister.
Yeah.
What? Okay, now starting with you, Noah. What is your order when you go to the kosher deli? What do you get at the kosher deli? What's your thing? Celery? No.
Celery.
Black cherry, cream.
I always have the
Food too.
Yeah. I have a really pretty disgusting order, usually. I really have no palate. So I just like lots of sauce on stuff. If we go to a bagel shop or something like that, I'll rarely get a lox and bagel. I'll get an egg and cheese sandwich with, hot sauce and ketchup and mustard, and it's just kind of a disgusting mess. That's what I like.
Son, you're wasting your life.
I'm feeling major disappointment, Jewish disappointment here, yeah.
But I guess if I go to Barney Greengrass, and I know I kind of have to be respectful.
Right.
I will get always an orange juice.
Okay.
I like the orange juice a lot.
Healthy.
And I'll get the sturgeon's egg scramble with a bialy. Always a bialy. I had to actually stop eating bagels. I was falling asleep.
It can do that, but if you like a good schluff, it helps.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Not what I expected, but cool. I mean, you have time before you're an old Jewish man.
People are always disappointed when they meet me.
Yeah.
One, because I'm not old, and two, because I'm not a native New Yorker. Three, have a bad order.
You have a bad order.
Yeah.
We just add to the list of disappointments. And you, Jeff?
First off, the only kosher deli I ever frequented, and in the 80s I lived above it, was the famous dairy restaurant on 72nd. Not the famous.
Yeah.
But the famous dairy restaurant.
Yeah. Shapiro.
And that was kosher, and Isaac Bashevis Singer would go.
It's a regular deli, though, right?
No, it was kosher deli.
Kosher deli, yeah.
Yes, most definitely. And down the block, like 2 doors down, was a not kosher deli, and the onions would come into my apartment. All right, so
true story.
If I go, let's say I go to Barney Greengrass, which is one of my favorite places to frequent. I will get lox mit bagel. I get lox, eggs, and onions. I get probably another bagel. I'll have some sturgeon and 1 or 2 other things. No, it's just, I do it. I go. I don't have a Barney Greengrass in Los Angeles. We have great delis in LA. But
Langer's is great.
Yeah, Brent's is great. There's a lot of great delis, but there isn't, the Sturgeon Festival.
Can I say 2 things? One, I was very proud, actually. It took half a year, but I got Gary Greengrass to carry the book at Barney Greengrass. So if anybody is...
Good for you.
Yeah,
That's good, yeah.
Anyways. And I've always been fascinated with, he's not here tonight, I don't think, Bob, one of the old Jewish men on the Instagram account. His deli order and bagel order is just a plain pumpernickel bagel toasted.
By the way, he's a minimalist.
Yeah. How do you get there?
Simplicity.
It is.
How do you get there?
That's a good question.
Da Vinci, and that is a thing of perfection and simplicity. I admire that.
Yes.
I admire that, except I don't like pumpernickel. But other than that, it's a delightful story. And when I go to Barney Greengrass, I probably don't have the second bagel. The white flour just raises the sugar. But I'm eating the lox, eggs, and onions, the bagels and lox. I'm doing it all. Living with the smoked fish. Yeah.
Okay, who's your favorite Jewish professional athlete?
Currently.
Yeah, I didn't. It's not my question, but whoever's question is it current? Anytime. What's your favorite? You have a whole section about Koufax, but
White guy in the Pacers, not a Jew, right? T.J. McConnell, no.
I know. It doesn't sound like it. This doesn't sound Jewy to me. Geez, the guy that was on the Mets.
No, Nader. No, what's his name? Yeah, Bader. Yeah.
And the Mets also had a great outfielder who was Jewish. They got him from Toronto, and they traded him to the Dodgers. And I'm actually friends with him, and I cannot remember his name. But I will tell you my two favorite Jewish athletes, without a doubt. What's that?
Green. Sean Green.
Sean Green. Fuck yeah. He is a happy Jewish man with a beautiful shiksa wife.
Okay.
A lot of those athletes, they go there. I need to find a fine Jewish woman so we can, whatever, something Jewish. It's a tie for me. Hank Greenberg. Yep.
Yeah.
And Tom Brady.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good tie. Okay.
I saw him at shul recently.
Yes.
Wearing his yarmulke.
And his rings.
His tallis. He was complimenting me on my tallis. I go, my tallis, your tallis.
Does he have Brady on the back of his tallis? Like, it's just like...
That would be hilarious.
Like a jersey.
That's actually a good one.
Yeah, it's like a little, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Okay, serious question there. Let's not do that yet. What is your go-to order? Whose questions are these? Everything about the food. Jews ask questions about food. What is your go-to order from Costco hot food?
Oh, Dave sent that one.
Oh, that Dave.
Or someone who's a friend, a pal, loves old Jewish men on Instagram. Yeah, go ahead.
The food court order. I can tell you Dave's order. Dave is a cheese pizza Costco guy, and he likes the ice cream. And we came up with the Costco custom ice cream sandwich. You just take 2 of the double chunk chocolate cookies, and you got. Sorry.
Oh, by the way, that was called a chipwich. Many years
back
ago
in the day.
York, back in the day, a chipwich. I love the name of that.
Yeah.
Chipwich.
And you mash it with the ice cream.
And that's like an old Jewish man.
I mean, it actually costs.
Ben and Jerry's, it's like an old flavor.
It's actually bad value. It's kind of against our code of ethics.
Free soda.
Yeah, free soda. We can't even go to Costco anymore. We're kicked out now.
Really?
Yeah.
Not all of them. What happened?
It's true. They told us to leave.
Why'd they tell you to leave?
They said, sir, they said, sir, you can't do that in here, but I'm a big fan.
That's what they said?
Yeah, and then he asked for a selfie.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and then Dave goes, you can't ask for a selfie if you're kicking us out. Yeah. Anyways, whatever. We got to find a new place.
Oh, you guys got to, if anybody's watching, you got to find him a new place.
Yeah.
That's not good.
I never go eat at Costco, except the samples. Delightful.
Yeah.
But the thing that I get at Costco, they have amazing lox. People don't know that. Delightful.
You heard it here. That's chipwich and lox.
They don't make chipwiches anymore.
They're gone.
And you don't put a lox in between a chipwich.
No, that would be.
That's not,
That's not.
Yeah.
All right. So
even a cinnamon brown sugar bagel, you don't put lox on.
Agree 1,000%.
Yeah. Just not a.
Doesn't go together. Yeah. All right. So.
Can I ask you a question, Jeff?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I don't know why I just was thinking about this. Do you think that successful comedians, successful performers have a below average resting heart rate when they're performing?
Yes. I can go up in front of 1,000 people and my heart rate is 1 beat faster than when I'm walking, than when I was backstage. No. Any comedian who's successful, it goes down. Now, some will throw up. I went through a period when I was in Second City. I had horrible stage fright, both stand-up and performing with Second City, and I would throw up before every show. And my heart would race.
So then at some point, it started to go down.
Oh, yeah. And it's been that way for me probably for about 20 years, since my early 40s, that I really it's cool, calming down. And it would be, my stand-up is mostly improvised, and I don't care. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And I know that's what I do, and I know how to do it, and I love doing it, and my heart, actually, if anything, my body reacts very, diabetes leaves the building while I'm on stage. I'm kind of kidding. Like I was mentioning to you, I've had the flu and I had to perform. And I'm in the dressing room, the green room, and I'm sick as a dog. I make my way out there, I feel nothing. Fantastic. I come off stage, I'm twice as sick.
That's like the Michael Jordan flu game.
Yeah, although he made up watch The Last Dance. But there was one thing I wanted to say about what was the question you asked me? Because it'll remind me.
Does your resting heart rate go down when you're performing? Is that true of successful performers?
Yes. Oh. We don't have time. We don't have time to wait. I'm not going to go through the book like he does.
Well, you don't have to, because these guys all know the book already. And we started off, though, talking about fawning a little bit. And I have a question for you that's a bit serious. And it has to do with kind of Jewish pride and kind of being out there as Jewish comedians, or like making so much of this material is obviously like as Jewish as it gets. And there's how do you feel about the rise of anti-Semitism in New York City, America in general? You're experiencing it, Jeff, at all in any way? Are you experiencing it as is this an expression of Jewish confidence and non-fawning? Like, hey, here we are, warts and all, low status and all, we can take the hits, and here we are. How do you feel about the rise of anti-Semitism? And
that's a very good question.
Thanks so much.
Whoever. Very good question. Yeah. And it's timely.
We're getting about as much as we deserve.
See, but that's why you should buy the book. He's a funny kid. Yeah. That's really, and that's dark funny, and I love it. It's so funny. So you go ahead first, and then I'll go.
What do I think about anti-Semitism? How does it make me feel? My dad was a shrink. I've had a lot of these conversations. I am kind of confused, honestly, why we don't get more of it on Instagram. Yeah, I'm not kidding.
What? Any theories? Any theories? Or?
I think that it's so kind of such a high level of minutia and nonsense that people feel silly being like, fucking gas you, gas yourself. Like, people feel silly looking at, a Costco video and then sending that DM. They probably type it out and they're like, I'm just going to send this to Barry Weiss.
So you're not getting more anti-Semitism? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to downplay it. I'm concerned with the way that the world is, not into Jews. But I think Jeff made a great point backstage that it's always been there. People just kind of feel carte blanche right now to kind of express it.
But I just want to the question's a little bit darker, but we don't have to go that far because we're wrapping up in a minute. But one of the things that will often be, part of the problem with all hate, and specifically Jew hate, is the stereotypes that people have of Jews, right? And often they're trafficked in these kind of absurd, stereotypes about us that we often smile and, we fight against them out in the public, but then privately we're like, yeah, really, So you read a book like this with some of the stereotypes, and some of them will be trafficking, right, in kind of these broad generalizations about old Jewish men. Does it worry you that this might lead someone to be, in the opposite direction of what you intended with this book? Like that someone might think, oh, look at these Jews. Look how cheap they are. Look how whatever,
I think that
hoarding and schnorring and.
Right. I think that if Jews, in my opinion, are the cheap thing is like. To me, I think that Jews are not cheap at all. I actually think that the joke amongst Jews works, calling each other cheap, calling each other value conscious, because Jews actually are the most generous people. And I think that you see that when you go to a Jewish wedding. You'll never see such a spread Jews are all about the spread, all about spending tons of money when they have people over.
Feed everybody.
Feed everybody. And you go to not to offend anybody that's not Jewish here, but I've left non-Jewish weddings hungry. And to leave a Jewish wedding in Hungary is like absurd. It's absurd. It's unheard of.
Sacrilege.
Yeah.
It's sacrilege.
That's an intermarriage.
It is. Like, yeah, exactly. It's horrible. Jeff, take a shot here. What?
Well, I face it every day, but not to me, to my face. I'm just hurting for other people every day. It's very bothersome. I also, because you're like the Jew with this and that, I don't think anti-Semites have an inner monologue. I don't. They just hate Jews. They don't know shit of what they're talking about. But there is no specifically this, specifically that. No, it's just hate. And I faced it twice in my career, 2 different situations. One, when I first started, which was 43 years ago, I was 20 years old. I was playing Orlando, and I was the first Jew. This has happened to me many times. I'm the first Jew people met. But usually people are really kind of like it, and they're very nice. But this guy he hated Jews. I'm the first Jew. He did ask me if I had horns, and I don't know really what I'm doing. I just started in comedy, and I'm just like, how do I do with this? And I said something inexperienced, but like, fuck you to him, and he wanted to fight me. As a matter of fact, they had to hide me in the kitchen because he was looking all over for me. He was a madman. The other time in my career that I faced anti-Semitism, and boy, oh boy, did I let it rip. A very successful director was directing me for this new detective show, and that my friend wrote. That's why I was doing it. And he would make Jewish jokes to me all the time. And they weren't funny. And I would say, I just got to know, what are you hoping to accomplish? Because none of these things that you're saying are remotely funny. They're not? He was like juggling. I go, no, none of them are funny at all. Zero. And by the way, Jews have great senses of humor. You want to tell me a Jewish joke that's fantastic, good for you. But every joke you're telling is idiotic. And I actually was cut out of that show. I swear. But yeah, that's the only time I've directly faced it. I haven't even seen it on the street ever in my life to someone while I'm there. However, as I mentioned, I don't believe there's more anti-Semites in our country, the same amount as were 50 years ago. Same amount. But our president and the way the world is right now, it's become okay to be open about it. That's what's going on, and that's what's nauseating. Although, think about it, there were hidden anti-Semites in their little caves, in their little mouse holes, who've been told, come on out, come on out. So that infuriates me every day. Yet I can schliff off. I mean, I'm very content. Contentment is what I strive for, not happiness comes, sadness comes, contentment. And that is probably the only, I don't even read the paper right now. I subscribe to all of them. I don't read the paper. Can't do that every day. But I have to say, anti-Semitism, it doesn't worry me. It upsets me so deeply. There was your answer.
I like it. There it is.
Yeah.
So I think we're almost done.
Don't say that.
Yeah, just like,
May I just say something? I think he's new to hosting. When you're sitting and having a conversation, you don't go, like you didn't know what you were going to say next. You went, well, I think we're almost done. That is when you do this again, and you're a rabbi.
I know,
you've got
seriously.
Performance skills.
We pray for him. So I think that, what I was going to say, the reason why I censored myself slightly was like, I think that humor at this moment for a lot of people is an incredibly big gift to give them. Like there's a moment now.
I feel it, by the way.
Feel it.
It's palatable.
It's palatable in the air.
Yeah.
It's kind of like before.
The gratefulness that I get from everyone, but especially Jews.
Right.
Because it's my job to ease people's pain. That's actually my job.
Right.
If I ease your pain and you feel something and you laugh, I've done my job. My job is not to stand in there and go, I'm so great. No, I'm here for you and you only. And I can feel it now. That's a thing that they can't take away. We want something to laugh at, something to enjoy. And so I'm feeling it now more than I ever have, the gratefulness. And it's really, to feel it is pretty wonderful. And it shows that's my job. I have to ease people's pain. A lot of people are in pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
I went off on another tangent. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to thank you. And it's going to, like, before you excoriated me in public, I was going to thank you and mocked me and made me feel like a newbie that has never done this before, even though I've done it for 20 years. I really appreciated that.
Well, then he's done it
before that,
twice.
you know, before
you're
in hospitality, I just wanted to say thank you to Jeff, because Jeff, what I said to you backstage was true for me and my family, and for, I think, a lot of people that know your work, Jeff. And I wanted to say it to you here. I was debating whether I would say it or not, but I wanted to say that during some of the darkest times the last couple of years, pandemic, you know, instability, what's going on in my own personal family, discovering like shows where you were featured, and you in particular, you know, because I think very much I identify with like the old, like there's something about your human that's just so deep in my bones and my family. We got through stuff because of the way we laughed, because of the way that you made us laugh. And I wanted to thank you for that. And I wanted to say,
so kind and lovely, and I am touched by it, and I really, really, really thank you, because that's why I do it.
And it's true. And Noah, when I read this last night and I was pishing reading this, it was so funny. And I called up and I was like sending, taking pictures of stuff and sending it to my parents, sending it to my, to my family, and they were also like, where's that book? We got to get that book. So thank you also for like writing this.
They bought it?
They will. Upsell.
That book is a big bowl of Zygazin.
It is.
You read that, you live, you're healthy, delightful.
It is delightful. So thank you to Noah Rinsky for this incredible book, this gift, Old Jewish Men's Guide to Eating, Sleeping, and Futsing Around.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Absolutely. And thank you to Jeff Garlin. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank all of you for coming to my first ever interview. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Oh, he was wonderful. You just don't look at a crowd and say, almost there. It's just you don't do it, because then the audience goes, well, what's going on?
Yeah,
there we go. I don't like it.
Thank you for coming, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.